Hello and welcome to the WWW, the weekly Wellness Wednesday. So I want to welcome you. I'm Robert Arthur here in beautiful Granbury, Texas, with my co-host from up in St. George, Utah,
Mr. Jim Rhodes, and it's a pleasure. And I am so looking forward to this interview, having just spoken and met Doneth for the first time myself. So, yep, it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. And before we introduce our special guest tonight, we're very excited to hear more about her journey. The VIP is you. Yes, you watching this live stream or this recording. Wouldn't you agree, Doneth and Jim? That's the VIP tonight.
Absolutely.
You bet. Welcome to
and those who will watch after.
Yes. So we can come a little more acquainted to being VIPs too then, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so here's what, just a little preamble, the WWW, we do this weekly. Jim and I have had some awesome interviews. Just a little promo before we introduce our guest tonight. We have some great interviews with different, very eclectic journeys, but they're all raw and real and authentic and heart-centered.
Every single person who has agreed to be interviewed, whether they were first time ever interview or been in the whatever health journey they've been on, have been so interesting. And the neat thing is they share in that journey their own transformations of what they've found along the way to make a big difference in their life. And that is precious because those nuggets can bless us.
Yes, they definitely can bless us. So without further ado, so tonight's special guest she lives in two unique places. One is in the home place of Elvis. My mom was a big Elvis fan, Doneth. So Memphis, Tennessee area. And then she spends most of her time though down in the beautiful Bahamas, particularly in Nassau. Okay.
He's a Texan. He cannot say Nassau.
How are y'all in Nassau? It's all good.
Yes, so, you are.
Anyway, and she has a beautiful heritage, Jamaican from the Bahamas as well. And she has also, you mentioned with Jim and I, you had a very eclectic family as well, or a blended family with your hubby.
Yes, whose name is Elvis, by the way. So.
Oh, no way.
So when we got to Memphis, Tennessee, he was very proud to say, I am Elvis. But that was kind of uncanny,
That's uncanny.
Elvis and moving to Memphis.
Wow.
And I knew that.
Go ahead, Jim.
I just got to add, her last name is famous also, and I hope she will share this part of her story. It's Cartwright.
Yeah.
And the Cartwrights were some of the pioneers who settled California for all of us older people who got to watch Bonanza, which was a great big ranch that they settled and made a wonderful life in the wilderness.
Right. Well, I only learned about that name when I moved to the Bahamas about 12 years ago. And I fell in love with the name. And I said, I think Doneth Cartwright sounds lovely. So for about 6 months, I called myself Doneth Cartwright just for fun. So when I met my husband, I was surprised when he told me his surname was Cartwright. So I'm very careful with my words because I ended up being a Doneth Cartwright for real.
Oh, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And we're big proponents and believers in the law of attraction. We think it's divine, and so it sounds like you are as well, my friend. And what a blessing, because so much of the story tonight, I think you would agree, Doneth, you manifested, into your life
all
tonight.
All the time.
Yes.
So I'm here with Zaleva because I manifested that as well. Both in terms of where I wanted to go with my health and of course now being a wellness partner was not something I dreamt of, but I spoke it into being about 6 months ago. I remember when Debbie, who's Cartwright, by the way, Debbie introduced me to the product. I wanted to sign up right away. And she says, like, just make sure the products work first. We want you to take the products, put it in your body, make sure it works. And I was like, okay, I'll wait. So I've always had fairly good health, but about 5 years ago, you know, your body warns you when you're having issues. And I started having some gut issues. Not to give out too much information, but I was having problems going to, you know, being regular. I was being bloated, and I just couldn't understand what was happening in my body, but I knew something was wrong. So I started to do my own research, and I got interested in the wellness space, just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, reading books. You would think I was studying to be a doctor or chiropractor. I was just very much in tune with wellness and how to heal my body naturally. But fun fact, I was married previously to a physician, and he refused to take medication. He would prescribe for his patients reluctantly, but he never really believed. He was a traditional medical doctor that did not believe in medicine, taking traditional medicine. And I would see how he would treat with headaches. His own headaches would be merely just to go to sleep. And so I grew up, you know, in my adult life, not taking medication, not being sick. And once I got sick, I would research the natural way to heal myself. So if I had a headache, I would drink water, I'd go to sleep. I would try natural things first before popping a pill. But I needed something to deal with my gut health. And there's so much herbal teas can do. So I decided maybe I should try a pre and a probiotic. So I saw some online, did my research and tried those. The results, I would say, were okay, not substantial. So when I was about to repeat my order after about 3 months of trying them, my husband said, you know, Debbie's selling some products and maybe you should try her. They're pretty amazing products from what I can hear. And I said, okay, let's talk to her. So we called up Debbie and I told her I'd like to try the probiotics. And she said, okay, yes, we have a good probiotic. She got Tatiana on the line and the rest is history. I ended up buying the Ultimate Collection because when she explained how the products work together, I just wanted to try everything. So I was excited to get the products. We had just moved to Memphis and we were still staying in a hotel. But I did tell Debbie, I hate protein shakes. My husband is a bodybuilder and he drinks a lot of protein shakes and I thought they tasted nasty. So I was not a smoothie person and I didn't have shakes. So that was something I said, okay, I'll still get them because I know if I bought them, he would have them because he likes that kind of stuff. So we got the products and I decided for the first couple of days to try them. I just took them in a shaker bottle and I was like, okay, but this tastes better than all the shakes I've ever tasted. So I fell in love with the shakes right away. And I started the burn days and I fasted for 48 hours. Now, for me, fasting was a lifestyle. I'd learned of intermittent fasting because I told you I was always into how I could heal my body naturally. Didn't quite know about autophagy until Zalevo introduced that concept. But I used to do intermittent fasting. And sometimes it would be a struggle. And sometimes I would get off the fast and don't know what to eat. I would binge on stuff because you fasted for 2 days and then you told yourself, okay, maybe I should have some cereal. You know, you just had food that probably was the wrong thing to eat.
Yeah.
So when I broke my fast with the shake, oh my God, did it taste amazing? It was even more amazing because I guess your body is now craving something delicious. And so the shakes tasted even more delicious. And I stayed on that. I weighed every morning because I used to do that before I took the shakes. I wanted to see, you know, how my body was fluctuating. And I learned a lot about my body by going on the scale every morning, that your weight is not constant, that it will go up and down depending on, you know, water retention, all different things that went into that. And I also knew by this, that my weight, which was, I think, in the range of about 30 to 40 pounds more than what I weighed when I came here. In Jamaica, I weighed about, well, I don't usually tell my weight, but about 40 pounds less than I was weighing at the time. So over the years, weight just crept on. And it was more a hormone problem than my diet, because when I watched what my husband, for example, who has 7% body fat, what he ate, he ate way more than me. And he used to be surprised that I would, be having a weight issue when I barely ate anything. So what Zaleva did for me was to put my nutrition on another level. I was now getting.
Just to pause you for a moment. How about we pause here and just kind of catch up with everybody? So with your permission to rewind the clock a little bit, if you are brand new, when she says she bought the ultimate system, we have a system of products, whether you start with one of our products like the probiotic or the collagen or whatever, or the shake, or a system of products. Since we're a baby company, Doneth and Jim, we don't have 101 products.
Right.
We have a core line that when you do use them together, they do some amazing, beautiful things. And yes. You also mentioned, I'm curious, because we always get real and raw on this call. I know you already fasted, but did you fast right off the bat with Zalevo, the burn, or did you do a few days or a couple of weeks of some other products? How did you enter that?
No, so I had a couple weeks of other products, but then I had a month of nothing. So I was waiting to get my Zaleva products. And so when they arrived, I started taking them the same night. I was excited to get them. So I started the first night. I think I did 2 days of the shakes, and then I went straight into the burn.
And you did the shake.
That was amazing.
Shake Fortitude, you were using the...
Right, so I took the Fortitude 85 because I knew I had some brain fog going. And as an attorney, you need to be mentally alert at all times. Not only that, we read lots of cases, you read volumes of cases and transcripts and so on. And so it's very important that your brain power is there. I know some of the young lawyers in my office, they take ginkgo bioma and stuff like that. So we all rely on something to help us, because we often feed our gut, but we don't feed our brain. So I was very happy to be introduced to the Fortitude 85. So that helped. The E-Vibe was not in that Ultimate collection at the time. So I later added the E-Vibe, and oh my gosh, that was amazing. My energy, mental alertness, everything was just now working perfectly. I did not have cravings anymore. I did not binge eat. My fasting was really easy, much easier than when I fasted without the burn mode.
You're using the E-Vibe a lot on the burn days as well.
Yes. And then I realized I could combine them. So I started drinking them together. And yes, so that was amazing. So I was just paying attention to how the products made me feel. I noticed the bloating was going away. My tummy was getting flatter and flatter. And so people started noticing that, but on the scale, I was going up and down, up and down. And then one day I realized the scale dropped like about 8 pounds. I just could not understand what happened. And then it started trending down until I lost about 35, almost 40 pounds over a 6-month period. So I was consistent with the products because I loved the taste. I loved how it made me feel, and I just continued to do it. So I know sometimes people want quick fixes, right? They want a product, they have an issue and they want something to just fix it just for that particular month or that day. But what I did, I just stayed on it consistently because it made me feel so good. And the longer I stayed, the better I felt. And so it's now a way of life. When I don't have my products, I get a little miserable, like, oh my gosh, my order may have been delayed for some reason or the other. And I'm like strategizing, what am I going to do? Okay, let me do 1 scoop until I get products. And I'm traveling on Monday. I'm traveling to St. Martin for a week, and I already have my products lined up and everything. I'm taking them with me on my vacation. I'm going on a work vacation. Well, it's Rotary as well as vacation. So I'm going to a Rotary conference, and I plan to not just take the products, but introduce it to as many Rotarians as I can. So
Well,
that should be fun.
it's tough to have a work conference on the Virgin Islands, so that's tough, you know. So yeah. So,
Yeah.
and we also pause because we want, Doneth, I'm sure you can appreciate this. We always lean on Jim's strength, 55 decades now in nutrition. So Jim, I'd love for you to touch on, and Doneth kind of teed this up for us earlier, how her hubby, 7%, eats all this crazy stuff. I'm sure mostly healthy anyway. And
Yeah,
then
Doneth
was wondering why, you know, and so can you touch on the hormonal interaction too?
Sure. Actually, it all starts in the gut. Believe it or not, so many things go from there outward that if you can help the biome, and we call it biome because it's the friendly bacteria that we want, even though there's unfriendlies that get in there, especially if you've ever had to use an antibiotic. If you can put in the right biome or bacteria to break your foods down correctly, because it is literally a laboratory where large things become smaller and smaller so they're usable. And once that happens, then the digestive system itself can absorb them and put them into the bloodstream where they're sent to the liver and then sent out to the whole of the body and nourish the body. When that happened, one of the biggest things that was helping you, well, all of them were, including even your Ultra 30 protein shake, because it's full spectrum, which means it even has a probiotic in it and a prebiotic. But by adding the dailies that you were adding, particularly, now you've got 10 more strains of the most prolific ones that are needed to do that breaking down process. And you mentioned there was less bloating. That's because the foods no longer have to ferment because they're broken down. Before that happens, less gas, all of that will happen. And now the uptake increases like crazy because when the gut can't break it down, the rest of the body starves. All the glands, all of those important glands that produce the hormones, which has a big array of feelings, particularly the ones that are needed in the brain to up your serotonin, increase all of the other things that your body is in need of. When you give the body every possible building block it could use with a delivery system of its own live enzymes that carry it in and help break that down, plus the biome that does the rest of the job, rebuild that mucal lining in your gut, all of those gut issues, the body knows how to self-heal. But without the right building blocks and tools to do so, it survives versus thrives.
Wow.
You went from a little bit of survival mode, which is the body tries to hold on to everything it can because it's nervous that it's not getting what it needs. So it goes grab more and store more. We may need it later. And suddenly when you've got it all, it says, hey, we can release this. Of course, when you got into those intermittent fastings, you immediately went into ketosis, burning ketones, which is your own fat. That's incredible. And so that comes down and lean body is protected and built through these incredible proteins in our protein shake, along with everything else that you were doing in your body. It's capable of serving us at a much higher level when we give it what it needs.
I agree. Another amazing thing that happened, I had frozen shoulder. I don't know where that came from. I could not raise my arm. And after the fast, I was able to put it up a little bit more. And each time I did the fast, I was able to the point where I can put my arms behind me and, you know, so my frozen shoulder, which I was told would have probably taken a year, up to 12 months, I got rid of it in less than 6 months.
Wow.
So that was another amazing thing, that, what you put into your body actually, I believe that food is medicine. So for me, that was, I know it's the label, one of their disclaimers that this is not medicine or anything, but I do believe that what you put into your body, the food that you eat, can either poison you or flourish you, and so that was
well
just
said.
amazing for me. And
Yeah.
another thing too, women, when we get to a certain age, and I'm going to be 55 in another week and a half, on the 20th of May, I see women fanning and, they're hot and I'm
Going
like,
through those
and they're
changes,
trying to
yes.
explain to me what is a hot flash, and I'm trying to figure it out because I'm not yet having those hot flashes, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing right, but whatever it is I'm doing, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm not changing a thing because I don't want to be fanning, not being able to, running the air conditioning and not being able to be comfortable, or people who just break into sweat. And I see it with my girlfriends, and I'm like, come on, maybe you should try what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
Well,
my hair has been growing like
my.
ridiculously faster, much thicker hair. People lose their hair when they get to my age. It starts thinning. I'm actually feeling as if I'm 20 years old.
That's amazing. Well, that's that super protein that you're taking. It's the most, in my opinion, it's the highest quality protein you could be putting in your body, which all of your cells, fingernails, hair, bones, everything is built out of this. And when you have that good quality protein rebuilding all of your cells that are replicating themselves, and then you hit into autophagy, where all of the glands and organs start to replicate better and rebuild, everything reduces. Some people forget how good feels because they've been feeling bad for quite a while. And this is a brand new regeneration of that. Oh man, it feels good to be alive.
It does. And one comment for those interested too, like Jem, you probably focus on the whey protein shake.
I actually am vegan, so I use the plant-based.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to make, that point, that we have that comparable amino profile, whether you're, and I'm now using the plant as well. So again, whatever your goal and whatever suits your body is part of the essential answer, isn't it, guys? I mean, listen to your body,
So that's what I found amazing, that I was able to, I had my sister-in-law taste both the plant-based, and I got her the whey. And she liked the plant-based better, but there are some people who like the whey better. So I guess you like what you like, but the fact is you have, a choice between a plant-based or whey protein. And I think that's really amazing.
That's a good point. And I'm assuming you're also, I didn't even ask you this in the pre-brief, but I'm assuming you're loving the collagen as well.
Oh, yes. So, oh boy. I don't want to, I hope the kids don't see this because they're going to be like, what? It's not vegan. So my husband has a way of buying products and then he'll take them home and the kids will be like, Dad, that's not vegan, because he may have, missed some ingredient that's not quite vegan. But we decided to try the collagen. And since I've been taking the collagen, my knee pains, I used to have knee pains.
Hold a minute, we can't, what do we say instead? You know the answer to this question.
The discomfort.
We say discomfort.
The discomfort. I had severe discomfort in my knees.
There you go. Because Jim and I want to share your story, but we cannot share this unless we stay compliant.
Right,
so discomfort is the word.
Yeah, so I had severe discomfort in my knees, and amazing. No discomfort. I've been, I read somewhere that you age in your legs first and you need to move. And so exercise is very important to me. I used to do crazy hits workout, but now I walk mostly, and I still do a few days with my personal trainer. But it's amazing that I now have that discomfort that I had for a long time that would, sometimes caused me not to want to work out, I no longer have those discomforts.
Wow. Yeah, Jim and I can both relate. So that's I'm really thankful you were open to trying it, and then now you see the benefit. So, guys, are you open to this? Let's see if we have some questions. I do want to honor Doneth, the people who are on this live. Obviously, the very first one to acknowledge is Debbie, your sister-in-law there. So you're the person who introduced you to this. So Debbie, thanks for being here. Debbie said, so happy to be here. She's watching you. Carol, Dennis, Diane, Mindy, Carolyn, and Barb. Thank you, Barb. So, and there'll be so many more people that see this recording. And guys, I know we're a 30-second delay. So if you have a question or two that you want to put into the interview, please put it in the chat because I'm monitoring the chat as well. So as we're saying,
Debbie said you're in trouble. I know, because here we are. I let the secret out, which is that we are taking the collagen. But mixing the collagen, the EVAP, and the burn mode, oh my goodness, that's so delicious and refreshing. And so I put that in my water bottle and I sip on that early in the morning while I take my walk, and it does its job. I'm very happy with the products, to be honest.
Doneth, I didn't know that if you did or didn't once you said you were vegan, but one of the things that help with gut health so much is that collagen, especially with people who have many disorders, because as we age, everything separates a little bit, and collagen is what holds everything firm and tight. And that's why you look 30, even though you shared your age, you do not even come close to looking like that. And obviously that is a major help for anyone with an issue of the digestive system, as that collagen can be magic for them too.
Yes.
Very much, very true. Yeah, so clearly I think we're all drinking the right stuff, or the right Kool-Aid, we call it. So Debbie asked a question, but Debbie, can you be more specific? Debbie, you may know what she's asking, Doneth, but Debbie asked, how do you
take your products? Okay, so I start in the mornings with my trifecta, the burn mode, the EVAB, and the collagen. And I in a water bottle, and I actually go on my walk with it, and I have like half of it before I start the walk, and the rest while I'm walking. Then when I get back, and I'll take my Fortitude 85 at that time as well. And then I come back from my walk, and within half an hour, I have my my protein shake, and then I go off to work. And usually I don't feel hungry until about 2-3 o'clock. I'll have a nice lunch. And so because I have such a late lunch, I'll probably have another smoothie depending on how late I'm going to eat. If I have a good time before bedtime, then I may have a salad. And I take my Biome Zinc before going to bed.
You take the daily and the trim, or just the one?
Just the daily. So I'd stopped taking the trim for a while after I lost the weight, and I was like, I don't want to go down too fast because nothing in my closet fit. This is a dress I had about 10 years ago. So I've been fishing out the older clothes, and I was trying to slow down my weight loss so that I can get a new wardrobe. But I just bought the trim again because I'm going to go back on it so that I can continue, because of I'm told that deals with your visceral fat. So it may not be the outer fat that you're dealing with. And so I've added back that to my collection. So I usually take those in the morning, but I take the Biome Zinc. I used to mainly in the mornings, but now I've moved it to night just to try see how my body feels moving it around. Sometimes I'll do a burn mode before bed. If I'm not fasting, I may do the collagen and the EVAB together and leave the burn mode for my bedtime. I have amazing sleep. I got a Fitbit. So fun fact, I won some monies from the labor. So I bought myself a Fitbit, and it tracks your sleep, it tracks your steps. And I realized that I thought I was getting a full night's sleep, and I would wake up and it says, oh, you had just 2 hours of REM and 3 hours of deep, So now I'm working on my sleep. And so I sleep in the Fitbit just to give me an idea as to how I'm resting. And I've seen a vast improvement in my rest when I take the burn mode and the biome sync at night.
Wow. Yeah. And I was on a comment too, that a lot of our people talk about that, how they do that, especially those who are shedding some extra, body weight or body fat. They take the burn mode with the either the daily or the trim specifically before bed. Doneth, I just appreciate you so much. Thank you, Diane, Johns as well. And Debbie says thanks. One more big thanks to Debbie for making this, for opening the door and inviting you to look at this. And thank you for reaching out to her. And I know I speak for all of us. I thank you for being part of this journey, Doneth.
Yes, I am grateful. I'm grateful to Debbie. I'm grateful to Zaleva and the wonderful team that make us feel so special as VIPs. And that explains why I decided that I had to be a part of this company, because it's just amazing camaraderie, and the support is just overwhelming. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, and speaking just real quick, because the focus here is wellness. The focus is health, not business. To be candid, to be transparent. That being said, have you been able to get your products for free?
Oh, yes. So there's a 3 and free. And yes, I have enjoyed free products, sometimes when I don't expect it. So that has been nice.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. So those of you intrigued about that, just reach out to any of us and we can fill you in. But I guess, is there anything that you really want people watching this to know? Maybe a call to action, maybe just to spur them into action. What's your closing thought?
Okay, 3 things. What you put in your body matters. So eat well, put the right supplements, and not to prolong, but my husband takes supplements, and I used to be like, why do you take? And he says, look at me. So now I'm saying to people, you need to take supplements. So I'm sold on that now. So get some good quality Zaleva supplements. 2, move your legs. You age in your legs first and get good quality sleep and be grateful. Gratitude is magic. So be grateful and life will be kind to you.
Wow. Eat well, move your body, especially legs.
Especially your legs.
And I love
get good quality sleep.
Quality sleep. And then to me,
gratitude.
To me, the ribbon over all of it, Jim and I would agree, because we live this way, and so do you, obviously. I love how you say gratitude is magic, and wow.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, you're a beautiful example of that, how you live in gratitude. Thank you, Doneth. And Jim, closing thought as well.
Normally, I don't get teary-eyed when I meet attorneys. You completely changed my attitude. Thank you.
Thank you. We're not that bad.
You are beautiful in spirit and body, and your enthusiasm is obvious in your heart. Thank you for sharing your journey. I think for those who were maybe sitting on the fence, should I try this or not? I think if they heard from someone of your background and your own personal journey shared from the heart, that it would help them make a decision that might bless their life too. And I'm just so grateful to get to know you, and I hope to get to know you personally at some point in time here.
I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Force for good. 1, 2, 3.
Force for good. Force for good.
You are a force to be reckoned with.
You are. Love and light. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Bye-bye. Good
Thanks
night.
for watching, guys.
Thank
you guys for those watching. Yes, the live and the recording. Thank you.
Bye-bye.